blow it in the playoffs.
What a difference a few days makes. It seems like we were not here too long ago, celebrating our first Leaf Series win after 19 years, and the fact that they didn't have to play the Bruins, and now all of a sudden they find themselves in a 2-0 hole, losing both games at home and heading back to Florida for Game 3. I'm Joe Chops with the boys, Coach Frank and Bobby Bottles for the Puck and Leafs podcast. Guys, another loss in which the Leafs carried a majority of the play, but some costly turnovers, some costly mistakes. Going to sleep for a few minutes of the game cost them once again, and goalie Bobrovski has been the story of the series thus far. Where do the Leafs go from here, other than, the Kawhi answer, we're going to Florida for Game 3? Where do they go from here? What do they need to do more of, and what do they need to stop doing so much of to get this thing back on the track?
Well, I guess, we got to start throwing out some cliches now, right? It's one shift at a time, one period at a time, one game at a time. Unfortunately, they don't know how to start or finish a period, so that's going to be a problem. You know what? It's funny because, they say hockey's a 60-minute game, but I can probably count 1 minute of that game that cost them Game 2. So it's been I think we talked about it before. It's a Jekyll and Hyde series, right? It's they played better. They've been the better of the two teams for 2 games, and they're coming out empty-handed. I don't know what to tell you. It's frustrating because they think there's a sense of urgency in the third period by deciding, hey, let's play now. Let's throw everything at the net. Well, it's the same shit over and over, and it's frustrating because it's the same group. It's not even the coaches anymore. It's the group. I don't see Keefe playing. You know what I mean? And it's just so frustrating. Like I as a coach, sometimes it's a penalty for me to watch it as a coach, thinking, why in God's name is Marner going backwards? You're almost out of the zone. Take it and go forwards. Like, what is it? What are you doing flipping it back to Matthews? It's just little things like that. And I'm sure Keefe is saying the same thing. It's like something it's not something you fix in practice. Hey guys, we're doing a drill how to get out of a zone. It's all mental errors, and it's costing them right now. And I don't know. Let's see them on the road. They've been pretty solid on the road. So let's see if they do that. I personally think they go 11-7. I think they're going 11-7 next game. I'd probably put money on it that they're going 11-7 because Giordano has become a bit of an issue right now. So I would not be shocked to see Hall and/or Gustafsson in that lineup.
Well, the talk was always about Justin Hall. Justin Hall's the problem. Perhaps maybe it was Gio that was a bit of the problem in that as well.
Maybe.
And look, he played almost every game this season.
Yep.
And we said it a couple times, like, why don't they just give him the night off? There's no reason for a guy at that age to play 80-something games. It may be catching up to him a little bit right here. His foot speed is slow. His decision-making is not what it usually is. He's usually a good decision-maker. He's just not playing up to his capabilities right now.
You guys have touched on a couple of defensemen. Jake McCabe today was on the puck. He's not very good. He is an off-the-puck defenseman. I thought he was awful today. So he should get a bit of the blame too. Joe, you said, what do they do from here? Play like they did in the third. Like, it seems pretty simple. I don't think they've had good stretches in the playoffs, and they've obviously had bad stretches in this playoffs. We haven't really seen them play like a 50, 55-minute game, 60-minute game, obviously. They've got to be more consistent. It seemed like in that second period, I don't want to say they didn't want to win because that's ridiculous, but it was as if they forgot they were in a playoff game. Like, they were playing, like, alluding to Frank, it was like they came out those first few minutes like it was a game in January, where they were kind of a little cute, a little reckless with the puck. That Marner one, I mean, those are killers. Those two areas on the ice.
Well, Matthews turns it over at the blue line as well.
Yeah, well, let's make sure that has to be said.
Matthews turns it over, but Marner really put him in a bad spot. I don't want to. We have a term in hockey that I'm not going to say here, but I don't know if you guys. Marner has a chance to go and just soft, easy chip out. There's nothing there. Just sometimes just take the soft, easy play. It seems like at times this team tries to do too much. I believe it was the end of the first when they had a 3-on-2 and O'Reilly had a chance to shoot the puck and he tried to make a pass. And
Yep.
those are just good opportunities just to keep the game simple.
Yeah.
They're too much at times. And those are fine in the course of a season, but in a series like this, like turnovers. Like those turnovers, you can't have turnovers leaving your zone and going into the other team's zone. Those are two areas you cannot turn the puck over because they seem to end up in the back of your net. Third period though, they played really well. I don't know if you guys noticed, Florida played like a 1-2-2, 1-3-1 kind of thing in the neutral zone. They have just told the Leafs defense, do whatever you want with the puck. We're just going to try to slow you guys down through the neutral zone. The Leafs did a really good job of breaking it down. But Florida's kind of indicating, like, even on the 6-on-5, when the puck went to the point, they didn't even pressure the point. They were like, go ahead and shoot it all day. The only time they were really pressuring was on the walls and in the corners. Like when Nylander got the puck, Gudas was constantly on him. So they're telling Toronto, like, we're going to let your D do what you want, but we're going to try to just anchor down these forwards. So,
and what have you noticed, Rob? We talked about last series when the Leafs activate their defense and Florida has the puck. You notice what they're doing with the puck to get it out?
the flip.
They're flipping it to center. Flipping it to center. They've got a couple breakaways out of it. For Hagee's got and he almost put it away again tonight.
Yeah.
Odd man rushes. It's not hard to break down the Leafs defense. They don't make it hard for them to play in the Leaf zone. I have a big issue with that. Other than Luke Shen, who's been, again, rock solid, for 8 games now. He's been solid. Riley's been solid. Everybody else in that zone have been very, very concerning. Let's put it that way. And I think, I hope I'm wrong on this too, but I think Samsonov's starting to break down a bit, man. He looks like he's worn out or he's hurt or something, because those are stoppable goals, and they got lucky with a couple posts and stuff tonight too, but it's starting to really concern me. I don't think they go to Wall next game, but might be starting to think about that soon. I don't know. Maybe I'm over
that second goal, the Barkov goal, just cannot go in a playoff game.
No.
You're talking about the slimmest of margins these games are decided by. And when you allow a goal like that, and then you look at the other side and watch how that goalie's playing, that's the difference of the game. We could talk about the turnovers and falling asleep for 5 minutes. Essentially, that's what the game was. One goalie let in a stinker, the other goalie stood on his head. And it completely sucks. But sometimes hockey's just a simple game like that. You have a goalie that stands on his head and you win the game because of it. The Leafs in 2 games have created 36 high danger chances.
Yep.
I don't think they created 36 high danger chances in 6 games against Tampa. Oh, by the way, Florida has created 19 and they're winning the series 2-0, man. You could say it's a simple, they got to get more pucks to the net. Just get them to the net like they did in Tampa. They had to do that against Tampa because they couldn't create good chances against Tampa. They are creating good, grade A chances against this team, and the puck ain't going in. And that is so frustrating. So frustrating. And it's even their best players, their best finishers, the chances are coming on their sticks, and they're not finishing.
So here's the thing about Florida, that, there is a sliver of hope here. And I still think they can win this series. I'm talking about the Leafs. Florida, they're prone to defensive lapses. So, they're there. And it's amazing what they're giving the Leafs, that even let's just, put Bobrovski aside, because he's just been incredible. But I don't think I remember seeing a game where the Leafs themselves have taken themselves out of the scoring range. Like, they're right there to shoot it, yet they make an extra pass, or they go to a less, or less dangerous spot to shoot. It just seems like they're second guessing themselves. But against Tampa, Joe, what was their key to success? Putting pucks on net, traffic in front. Florida's doing an excellent job of actually boxing guys out in front of the net. Like they have big guys back there, like Stahl, Gudas.
They're not getting a lot of second and third opportunities.
Yeah, they're boxing out. But when they have a point blank shot, it's weird. It's taking himself out of range. And I saw a bit from Matthews tonight. O'Reilly did it a couple times. Tavares. Nylander as well. I'm not even going to talk about Marner because we'll be here for another hour. I'm not going to say I told you so, guys, but it's coming to that point where you guys remember what I said. He's got to be a difference maker. Florida's getting from their guys. Where has this guy been? I don't give a shit about the secondary points and him leading playoffs or being a top-end scorer in the playoffs. He's got to make a difference. And when the game starts getting physical, he's going back to the perimeter. He's fumbling pucks. He's trying to make a low percentage pass across. Enough with this garbage, man. It's the same shit over and over that makes me so frustrated that, it's I don't know. I don't know where to go from here, to be quite honest with you, with him. But maybe it's better than they get on the road. I'm sure they're going to have some support on the road, but maybe it's just best that all the noise is out and they play on the road where they feel a little bit more comfortable, a little more at ease, and we'll see.
I have one thing to say about Samsonov, and I don't know if you guys noticed this. I thought he did a poor job of reading plays today.
Yeah.
All 3 goals, it looked like he couldn't read the play of what was going on. It looked like the Barkov one, he was more worried about the backdoor play. The third one, he didn't get a cross on, and the first one, he was off his, it was a nice play. Like, it was a nice goal, but
I thought the first goal was beautiful. That was a great pass.
Off, but he was kind of looking the wrong way, and puck goes back to the near post, and it's in. Florida did a great job in the second period. I don't want to take anything away. I think sometimes we should give credit. They did a good job of getting in on the forecheck, getting physical. They are a lot more physical than I realized. And I know Barkov scored, I believe he got 2 tonight. Outside of that, I didn't really notice him very much. I know he
got 1.
He got 1. I know he's a defensive centerman. Like, his role this series is going to be, hey, try to slow down. I haven't really noticed him yet on the offensive end. It was kind of a lucky goal. I have one thing for you guys. The one positive is that in 2015, we're going all the way back, the Blue Jays lost the first 2 games at home to Texas, 1-3 and won the series. 4 years later, the Raptors lose the first 2 games at home, win the next 4 against Milwaukee. Well, when you know it, it's 4 years after that. Maybe the Leafs can lose the first 2 at home and get the next 4 from Florida.
I got to correct you. The Raptors did not lose the first 2 at home. They lost the first 2 in Milwaukee.
Oh, you're right. Okay. All right, series over.
Thanks for trying to make me feel better, though, Bobby. Thanks.
Series over. All right, you guys we can.
Listen, you can look back at the last series too. The Rangers took a 2-0 lead on New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey came back. Nobody expected them to come back. These playoffs have been crazy. Yes, they can come back. They can, but they have to clean up. Again, Joel, remember what you said? I said if there's one team that can beat the Leafs, it's themselves. Oh, yeah. And I think the 2 games have shown that they made the mistakes, and credit Florida, they took advantage of it, man. So it's just it's the mental hurdle that they gotta get out of now. Like, who's gonna step up now is the question. Maybe adversity is good for these guys. Maybe this is what's needed. I don't know.
I never thought I'd hear anyone say that about this team.
No.
John Tavares was very good in that third period. He should have sniped a couple there.
Oh, Willie was incredible too.
Willie was good too.
They had their chances. They should have scored at least.
Yeah, they're 2-0 in moral victories in these playoffs.
That's right. Yeah.
Michael Bunting, man, his demeanor does not seem right out there. Like, he seems flustered at all times, and I didn't think he was very effective for that game today. I don't know about him back on the top line. I thought they.
Who's that?
Michael Bunting. I don't know.
They're trying to mix it up and see what works. I didn't really have a problem with Keefe per se today. I just don't understand when you're trying to tie a game.
I know where you're going
with 7-8 minutes left. Why is David Kampf on the ice? When you come out of a commercial break where you've had 3 minutes of rest, why is David Kampf on the ice? Like, okay, he's a good 4th line centerman, defensive centerman, but you need a goal, man. Put your horses on. Shorten the bench. There's no reason for him and Lafferty and Kerfoot to be on the ice with 5 minutes left, which they got a shift. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. That was my one gripe with him today.
He's obviously not watching the Edmonton series where, like, McDavid and Draisaitl skate by the bench and they shoot water out so they get drinks.
That's how it should be in the playoffs. Like, come on.
Isn't that amazing how they can how a team, how two guys can propel a team, and the Leafs have, like to me they're better, in terms of depth the way through, and they can't, they can't do the same. Like those guys take over a game, and our guys are like, well, we'll show up in the third. Don't worry about it. Just fuck. Just
you know what's frustrating me is if you look at the other side. Right now, we are in line for a Seattle-Las Vegas Western Conference Final. Very early, obviously. 2 expansion teams in the conference finals. That pisses me off. I hate that.
As a Leaf fan, that pisses me off too. We've been trying for 55 years to get there, and these 2 guys come out of nowhere. The 6th year in the league, 2nd year in the league. Yeah, I'm gonna make a stroll to the conference final, no problem.
Can I throw one out there, Joe? Do you expect to see Wayne Simmons in this series at all?
No. He's just too slow.
Just curious.
But it's interesting now because if Nyes is not going to be able to play, which it doesn't sound like he'll be able to, do you put Aston Reese back in? Do you go 11-7? I think they go 11-7. I think that's the way to go.
I think, I was looking at that stat between the intermission there. O'Reilly was by far led the team. I guess we're talking about centerman against the Tkachuk line. So Keefe's he's trying something. Like I know he wants certain guys against him. So I would not be shocked if he did that. And listen, they started moving guys around in the third as well, mostly because they had to, because Nyes was out. But and it seemed to spark it. And every time he's done that, they've looked pretty dangerous. So that's why I think 11-7. And I wouldn't even be shocked to see Gustafsson back in. I would definitely not be shocked to see Gustafsson and Hall back and Liljegren out. So I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that's what I think could happen.
Definitely a possibility.
So
all right, boys. So got Sunday in Florida, and then I believe Wednesday they play again. There's 2 days in between each game. So we're coming back to Toronto, I guess, on the Friday. Hopefully they can win a game. Do you think the series is tied at 2? Do you think they get 1 in Florida? What's your prediction for the next couple games?
I think they go 3 in a row and lose game 6 at home, it's 6 in Florida and setting up a 7 at home.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go that far, but I'll go they get the next 2. That's
why not? Let's throw some shit at the wall. Why not? Let's go here.
If any team's going to blow a lead, it's going to be this Florida team. Like they're nowhere near good enough defensively to really be a Stanley Cup contender.
But if Bobrovski keeps playing the way he is, man, he sure makes them one.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on this somber night. Hopefully by the next time we record, we're in a much happier mood. If you can drop us a comment, a like, subscribe button, all that fun stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night, and talk to you next time.